Dan, do you want to give me a pep talk before we start the episode?
Yes. Don't do what you always do.
Ask you really annoying questions.
Speak.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Let's just do what we do best, okay? Be professional.
Yeah.
Always professional. Always no rude jokes.
Well, that's more you.
No. Nothing that we're going to have to cut from the episode for legal reasons.
You say we, definitely me. I have to cut it from the episode.
Nothing you have to cut from the episode for legal reasons. No lawsuits this episode, okay? That's. Let's see if we can do a clean episode. 128 times we've been. Let's see if we can finally do one without getting sued.
Ross Kemp. Sorry.
That's okay. He already tried to sue us before, so we can't. It's fine.
I'm not sure if we can keep that, to be honest. With genuine legal issues.
Welcome to Myths. I'm Matt Huss. And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus, if you want tales with a bit of jest or you just want to hear about incest. What? What? It's really interesting. Welcome to Myths. Welcome to Myths.
Welcome, everybody. It's Myths. Hi. I'm Matt Hoss.
And it's me, Dan Rhodes. See what I did there? Suspense.
It wasn't suspense. You left me in the lurch.
Oh yeah, I'm not good at suspense. I've been told I often wait far too long for the suspense to be suspense anymore.
Well, I can definitely imagine you in a thriller. Just imagine like they get this really haunting moment where this young teenage girl's on the phone to, hey, I'm just inside. And you go, what? He goes, oh, sorry, I'm just inside here. Sorry, just breaking the suspense. Really sorry. Hi, I'm Dan Rhodes. I imagine you'd be quite good at that.
I would. If you could write a thriller or a horror, what do you think the storyline would be about?
Oh, genuinely, I've because as you know, Dan, I've written.
Because I know you've already, already thought about it. I know this is the sort of thing you thought about.
Oh, I'm in that kind of process in my life right now that it's been about, I would say about 5 months since I've written a book, I finished the previous book, and after that, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to write another one and stuff like that. But now I'm like, oh, the itch is back, baby. The itch is back. And I kind of have a lot of ideas at the moment, a lot of different ideas. I thought of a good superhero comic book idea the other day.
Go on.
So the idea, well, actually, now I say out loud, I've lost a lot of confidence in it. But hey, no one steal this idea because I think it's cool, right? The idea is that, you know how like all superhero films, most people are like really rich, like Tony Stark, your Batman, your Green Arrow. A lot of these people are kind of made into superheroes because they had the wealth to do so.
Yeah.
And I know that there's kind of that meme where it's like, oh, Batman's super. Matt talks about this point for about 5 minutes straight without Dan interrupting once, and not at all was there any really funny comedy value about this. So Matt talked about his plan for a little bit longer before concluding with this. Use their wealth and power to like vote down this other person and put sanctions against them and stuff like that, and that kind of thing.
Only you could have turned superheroes into a really boring metaphor.
You prick.
You know what I've just started watching recently with my housemate is The Boys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Boys is a big influence, as is also Amazon Prime. Have you heard of it, Invincible? That's a really good show.
I haven't, no, but I'm really enjoying The Boys. Just finished season 1. Highly recommend.
Well, let me tell you, The Boys is fantastic. Boys season 1 is fantastic. Boys season 2, it's also good, but it's definitely a bit more downhill. But it's definitely good. Very, very good show, and I love the idea of corporate heroes. That's the idea. I love it. It's great.
Matt, can I make a confession?
Yes.
I haven't read your book yet.
You haven't read my book?
No, it's here on my bookshelf, but I haven't read it.
Have you read the first page?
I've read I flicked to like the end.
What? Are you joking?
No, of course I haven't. No.
Oh my god, that would be so rude. Like, imagine if you actually did that.
I've read like I kind of flicked to like kind of a third of the way in and read like a few paragraphs.
What? Why? What?
I don't know, just to see what the kind of writing style was like.
Do you go into a film halfway through and be like, well, you know, like, none of this makes sense to me, so I guess I don't like it? Yeah, I mean, that's mad.
I do with songs though.
You're so annoying.
Because sometimes with songs, the intro is really good, and then after 10 seconds, it becomes like a whole different song. It's shit. So I skip to the middle bit, and I'm like, well, this is probably more likely what the vibe of the song is going to be for the whole way through. So if I don't like that bit, then I'm not going to. There's no point in me listening to the start.
You're very picky when it comes to music as well. Like, you need. I tried to explain it to my partner the other day. Like, you need like quite a lot going on for it to be interesting. You can't just have like a bland song, I feel.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Movies, I don't do that so much. I would never skip to the middle of a movie.
Yeah.
Because a book's a bit different, because I can be like, I just read a sentence and it was to test your writing style, because I'm thinking the beginning's probably going to be really good because you're like fresh and like, ooh, a book. But halfway through, your writing might deteriorate because you're just like, you know, you've been in it too long now. Get sloppy.
You know that's not how it works for books. I know, like, because you don't just start with, like, you don't just write a book in a day. It's like, woo-wee, I'm tired in this middle bit. Whoa, fool. Like, it's not a marathon, you know what I mean? Well, technically it's like a marathon, but like, all of it's edited, so it's all like, to be fair, you are right. The start is really, really good, but that should be a hook for you. That's how a book should be. A book doesn't suddenly start getting better. A book is like either right. This is the standard, and here we go all the way through. There might be dips and peaks and troughs, but like it should grip you from the start. That's what it's meant to do.
Okay, I will read it then, and I'll give you chapter reviews.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. I want you to actually, could you read the first paragraph on there right now?
Could I what?
Read the first paragraph on there.
Purify by Matt Hoss. A reading by Dan Rhodes.
Would you actually do the audiobook if I asked you to?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
This is your audition tape. This is what it is. This is
Okay, let me read the first paragraph.
So you better fucking sell
Okay,
it. You better
let's
sell
do
it. Don't be like, oh, one day there was a person called Scott. You have to like. This is going on your Spotlight profile. All right.
Okay, let's in pure myths style. Let's completely digress and start doing a whole different thing. Okay, let's.
Well, it's like the 10-minute mark yet, so.
Let me. That's true. Let me read the first paragraph of. Like I say, this is Dan Rhodes auditioning for the audiobook reading of Purify, a book by Matt Hoss.
Which has not been picked up by any publishers.
Yeah. It's still on the market. It's a single book. It's still on. Chapter 1. First Strike. The Highs were an industrious place, full of the self-proclaimed best of the best, a citadel for champions and media deities.
In this, Dan reads out Matt's book, again without any interruptions, and also like very little comedic values. Then Dan reads till the end of the page, and then concludes with this.
But in reality, it was dangerous. John had never had superpowers before. He could never afford them.
Damn it!
Matt, you've already written this book.
Yeah, oh no, that's a shame. That's a shame. I thought I could have got 2 novels out of it for sure.
How did you rate my paragraph reading skills?
It was good. I feel like you didn't have the option to kind of go show your range, because your range is good, man. You've got some excellent stuff, you know, like when you want to do it, you can do it well. Some of your accents
were an industrious place.
Could you do it could you do it with a different accent for every word? Every word, different accent.
The Highs were an industrious.
Oh, wait, what was that one?
That's meant to be French.
Oh, thank God. Because I thought that was just racist.
Place full of Scottish of play of
You got to do the whole paragraph.
Well, I was trying to see how to say the word "the" in a Chinese accent.
No, Dan, no. We don't do racism. Well, I
No,
don't do
if
racism.
I'm doing every accent, then it's fair, isn't it? At least they all get butchered.
Shall we do a myth?
Let's do a myth.
You know what? The only reason I start doing a myth is when you start doing something offensive. So,
That's why we always start the myth only 5 or 10 minutes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, right. I think let's head to do a Mayan myth.
Should I mention who I stole this off of this time, or should we do what we always do and just blunder through and hope they don't listen?
Yeah, see where you got it from. Why not?
I got it from Ted Ed.
Who's Ed? And who's
The TED, the TED Talk people. They also do an educational thing sometimes, and they did one on the Mayans, so I got the transcript.
Oh, well, is this legally okay? Hey, why don't you email us to let us know? Email us to let us know if it's morally okay to do this.
I think morally it's not okay, but legally it's okay because it was fair game on the internet. There was nothing about copyright that I could see. Boom. Thanks, Ted Ed.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Ted Ed, for leaving it open for us vultures to snatch.
It's like eating leftovers off of someone else's plate in a restaurant after they leave.
Whoa, that is
heavily frowned upon, but I'm not actually sure there are laws against that.
Well, there are definitely laws against plagiarism, right?
Touche.
But have you ever done that, Dan? Have you ever eaten something off someone else's plate in a restaurant?
Not from a stranger, no.
Right.
I've never been in a restaurant and the table next to me have got up, paid their bill and left, and I've just gone, oh, bit of steak there.
Right. I have never done that, but I've done maybe the next equivalent to it. Do you want to hear?
You took a drink? That's even worse.
No. Well, actually, when I was about 17 at nightclubs, I couldn't afford drinks, so sometimes I would just go drinking the dregs of many drinks to get drunk. That's another story which I didn't want to say.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Shut up!
Why do these moments happen on these podcasts? It's like therapy for you, I swear.
Well, I'm very comfortable around you, Dan.
Every now and then you just throw out the saddest little story I've ever heard.
That's not sad. It's cool, right?
That is not cool.
It's very cool. Actually, I'm very embarrassed by it. Imagine trying to drink down imagine now in times of COVID, imagine doing that, but right, I'm just going to drink this stranger's drink who probably doesn't have hepatitis B, so here we go. You know what I mean? It's, and, but...
imagine doing that in 2011. Oh, wait, you did that.
Yeah, I was 10 years before my game, really. But also the story I was actually going to tell, which might be worse. I don't think it's worse than that. Actually, I think it's less bad. But so at the end of I would work at McDonald's when I was a teenager, as you know, Dan. And
oh my God, what was that place called? The army place.
Catcher Garrison.
Catcher Garrison, that's it.
Yeah. You've been there. You've been to my place of work.
I have. I even went to the McDonald's opposite the cinema.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It was a nice McDonald's, actually, to be fair.
It was very pleasant. But we went there, and it was at the end of breakfast. They would have, this is back in my meat eating days. They would have a lot of the food leftovers, so a lot of sausage patties, a lot of egg patties, and stuff like that. And I was on window one, which meant that I also had to do dive, which was the washing up after breakfast as well, which was quite difficult to do as well as your main job. But you're meant to throw all the waste in the bin, but instead of doing that, I thought I'd save some of the corporate stuff because you have to write down all the things you waste, and I just thought I just eat a lot of sausage patties as well, and so I just stuff them in my mouth and just eat them out the tray instead of instead of throwing them away, which is almost admirable, maybe. And then I would drink someone else's drink.
What I love about this is this explains pictures I've seen of you.
What do you mean?
Where, you know, like peak little chubby Matt Hoss.
That's what you mean, is it? Saying, that explains why you're a fat boy.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. You look great now. But I just think that
I had very unhealthy eating habits, which
it's all good now. You're vegan. You exercise.
well,
McDonald's scraps Matt Hoss he's gone.
I wish I could be him again. Teenage Matt Hoss has a lot of making up to do. Did you like that story? Because I did
really enjoy that story. I did enjoy that story. I just can imagine you're about to put the sausage patties in the bin, and a little part of you is just like, I can't do this in good conscience.
I'll be honest, it wasn't a conscious thing. I was just being a greedy little fuck. Yeah, so that's the deal of it.
Did anyone ever catch you?
I don't think so. Or if anyone did, they weren't in a power position to do, and they don't really care that much. But if a manager saw you, you'll be very told off because you're stealing.
One thing I will say is I know you're definitely not you're definitely not the first person to have done that, and you won't be the last. That is probably happening all over every restaurant, fast food joint all over the country.
Do you reckon we have any listeners who have either done it or work in a environment where they could do something like that?
Yeah, I know loads of people that work in restaurants and stuff, and they always are like, they all of them have stories of when they've seen them or themselves, or they've seen colleagues. Like I worked in a hotel, in the restaurant there, I saw people do it. Like someone would you'd give someone some a side dish, maybe of some fries, and they'd hardly touch them, and then they'd leave, and you're like, well, that seems like a waste.
Yeah, well, see, when I worked in Origins, which was in my uni days, which is at the University of Kent, a little bistro and bar, and I did a lot of bistro shifts, so I would see a lot more food waste like that. But
they did do great curly fries. Did Origins?
Yeah. Oh my god, the best. And hey, they don't do them anymore, which is that's a shame, a tawdry shame. But anyway, what are we doing today?
Oh god, we've done it again, haven't we?
Yeah, it's 20 minutes in. We've read part of my book. We've talked about me as Teenage Matt Hoss, and it's been what an episode. And I didn't even tell you what else happened to me this week. It's mad. Anyway, Dan, so we are looking at Maya mythology, and we stole this from TED Ed, and we are ready to rock, shall we?
We are ready to rock. You know what, Matt? You can do the first bit. The first bit's kind of more of an introduction into. You'll see. You just take us away. You take us away. This one is called The Morning Star.
Ooh. Jack Eck rose from the underworld to the surface of the Eastern Sea and on into the heavens. This is also my audition tape for Myths, the audiobook, so let us know. Would anyone buy that? Let us know.
Well, the podcast is itself an audiobook, kind of, because we just read stuff out.
Yeah, but I want people to pay for it.
That will never happen, Matt. Continue.
His brother, Kin Ahor, followed. Though Jack Eck had risen first, Kin Ahor outshone him, and the resentful Jack Eck descended back to the underworld to plot against his brother. In Maya mythology, Jack Eck represents Venus, and Kin Ahor represents the sun. Which usually it's the moon and the sun, but that is they're mixing it up, the Mayans.
That's alright. They'll explain in a minute. They'll explain.
Known as both the morning and the evening star, Venus moves through the sky, sometimes visible before the sunrise, sometimes after sunset, and occasionally not at all. The ancient Maya identified this roughly 584-day cycle more than 1,000 years ago, and it still accurately predicts when and where Venus will appear in the sky around the world. Very interesting.
Yeah, see, this myth's got a little bit of historical context at the start, huh?
So Venus is very important, and also it's kind of like a cycle for them. So it's like a year, And I remember in like 2010, it was the end of the Mayan calendar, and that was what it was, right? And it goes, "Oh, we're all gonna die!" But it's just like it was the end of a notepad, so to speak. We hadn't updated it since because they've been brutally killed. So, yeah, fun fact.
Spoiler alert.
Hernan, you did it again. 5 of these cycles make up almost exactly 8 years, and the Maya also recognized this larger cycle. They assigned Chak Ek 5 different forms, one for each cycle of Venus, that were repeated every 8 years. So hold on. So the 5 cycles of Venus,
584 days. Yeah.
And every time it changes up, basically you get a new one every 8 years.
Yeah, because 5 times 584 is the amount of days in 8 years.
That's clever, that is.
Yeah.
So let's find out what cycles there are. Within the 584-day cycle, Venus is visible in the evening sky for 250 days, then disappears for 8 days before reappearing as the morning star. You know, we did the golden fleece. Could you do the morning star, Dan?
Yes, of course. Please do that sentence again and I'll nail it.
Within the 584-day cycle, Venus is visible in the evening sky for 250 days, then disappears for 8 days before reappearing as
the morning star.
Nice. You know, you've really matured in your broadcasting. It's really nice. It's good to hear.
Thank you.
Not matured as in emotionally matured, just like you got better at it. So
yeah, not as a person.
Yeah, you're not mature. You are quite mature, to be fair, but like in this podcast, let's pretend you're not. The ancient Maya ascribed particular significance to the point in the cycle. The first time Venus appears before sunrise after being invisible. On this day, Chak Ek rose again from the underworld, wielding a spear thrower and darts. What the fuck's a spear thrower?
I think instead of like throwing a spear with your arm like a loser, he's obviously got some kind of device.
Well, I was going to say...
like a crossbow or something.
A spear thrower is just an arm.
Yeah, exactly. He had arms.
I'll punch you with my spear throwers.
Unless the spear thrower is the name of the type of spear he had. Maybe that's the device itself.
Maybe it's like a flamethrower, but it shoots out spears.
Yes, that's what I'm going to imagine it as.
Just imagine it. Say hello to my little friend. I have to reload it. Let me have a go, please. And also some darts as well. He's ready to go and get hammered at the pub and start throwing darts to his friends. You know what I mean? Have you ever played darts, Dan? Are you quite good at it?
I'm quite good at darts, yeah.
We should play sometime.
Well, I imagine being mine, he would have had poison darts because they're very good with the poison dart frog. You know, that's all.
Is that true? Very nice. To bring discord to the world, he decided to attack his brother and his brother's allies. And his brother was obviously the Morning Star.
King Hor. Yeah.
Sorry, Morning Star. That's what I was trying to lead up, but never mind. Don't worry, Dan. It's fine. His first target was Kawil, the god of sustenance and lightning. Apologies for any pronunciations. It's obviously the first time I've seen this name and given it a go reading. So, but yeah, spelled K-A-W-I-I-L. Rising into the late rainy season, Chak Ek aimed his spear and struck Kawil, causing damage to the food and a period of chaos in the social order until Kawil was reborn. That's pretty handy.
So is this guy just really jealous because he's old? His younger brother is the son and is way more awesome than him, and he's just jealous. So he's going around murdering people.
Yeah, very much. And I kind of feel that because I like how he said it earlier, like Kinawa literally outshone him because he's a son. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
I imagine Alex Hoss listening to this will have massive flashbacks to when you were born and stole all his thunder.
Absolutely. Like he's like, oh, I'm so lame. I've got a really successful job and I've got a family. Oh shit! My little brother who Twitch streams, he's doing so much better than me. Take that, modern success. But yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah. Do you feel like you have a younger sister, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, do you ever feel jealous at any point?
I actually don't. Actually, I think because maybe two brothers are similar, but a brother and a sister we're kind of different, right? Boy and a girl. So I think maybe there's not the same rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely. That's nice. So he's basically titting things up for his brother, and because he's a bit angry. But people get reborn, so it's not that bad. Yeah, I mean.
No. He's murdered the god of sustenance and lightning, but it is a bit of an issue for the human. I mean, it's a bit annoying to have like all this. They didn't have a god of lightning or sustenance for a while. That's a bit of a problem.
Well, lightning, and that's not much of a problem. Sustenance, yes. Do you know what I mean? Also, how underfunded are these gods? Because the Greek gods are like, oh, gods of like toenail clippings. They got too many gods, but in this, right, you're the god of sustenance and lightning. We need you to cover both areas. Like you're two heads of department there. Like, you know what I mean? That's massive.
Well, I think it's because the god of sustenance. It talks about the rainy season, so I think he's like the god of rain, basically.
Oh. I thought sustenance was like just food in general.
I mean, it might be as well, but I think it also comes with the territory.
Yeah, okay, fair dude. Basically, I'm just saying he has a lot to chew on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. 584 days after attacking Cal Arwil, Chak Ek turned his attention back to his brother, the sun. Each night, the sun took the form of a jaguar and journeyed through the underworld. Chak Ek speared the jaguar's son as it rose at dawn towards the end of the dry season. The sun was wounded, plunging the world into a period of chaos and warfare.
Ooh, that sounds very, like... See, now that seems more significant. I would have started with that one, then kill sustenance. You know what I mean? But yeah...
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty badass.
Why didn't he start with his brother? It's weird that he went for his brother's friend first.
That's what I was just saying as well. Like,
Yeah.
And also, why does it always take the form of jaguars? Every time, for the last couple of civilizations, jaguars have had it. They've had it good. You know what I mean? Remember
Jaguars are awesome.
The jaguar house, and also like just jaguars non-stop.
Yeah, the Aztecs like jaguars as well.
Yeah, non-stop jaguar. Jaguar. That's it.
Chak Ek's third victim was the god of maize, who provided sustenance for all humankind. How that's different to the other guy who's the god of sustenance, I don't know. But
that's what I mean. What I mean. Like, I thought god of sustenance had a lot to do. Like, yeah, I mean, like, because the god of maize has really very much taken up the some of Kawil's leftover work. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell.
I love the idea that the god of sustenance, you got Kawil, and they're like, hey guys, there's no maize for anyone. I thought you guys were the god of sustenance. It's like, oh yeah, we are, but my colleague, the other god of sustenance, he covers the maize. And they're like, no, but he said that you were in charge of the maize. And it's like, oh shit, maybe. We probably should have decided whose job that was before.
What I love about this is that it's so obviously, this is like modern day bureaucracy. It's like, technically I am in charge of that, but not that department technically. So unfortunately, I can't help you today. You're gonna have to go and spend another appointment to sort them out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. So Chak Ek speared the god of maize at the time of the harvest. That seems like bad timing. He was buried in the underworld, and maize, the staple of life, was no longer available to Earth's inhabitants. But the maize god emerged after 3 months in the place of new beginnings, the eastern cave known as Seven Water Place, bringing food once again to Earth.
Hold on.
So as you said before, they only disappear for a few months.
But hold on, like if you're saying that they're saying that maize is provided, it gives all the sustenance to all of humankind. That's gone for 3 months. How are they alive? What are they eating? What are they eating for 3 months?
You could eat other stuff, couldn't you?
No, as a vegan, you can't. Maize is my only thing. I refuse to eat anything other than maize. You should know that by now. Every time I go to Nando's, it's like, do you have a plate of maize, please? And I'm like, what do you mean? Give me corn, baby. Give me corn. Which is my favourite Rolling Stones song. Give me corn. That was a terrible impression of Give Me Shelter, but hey, I'm not one to criticize.
I didn't even know what you were trying to do there.
I think that some people who listen to this will fucking love these jokes, but that is not you.
So anyway, the god of maize is dead for 3 months. That's a shame. When the turtle Ak Naak rose in the sky to mark the summer solstice, Chak Ek claimed his fourth victim.
All right, Dan, can you say Aknak 5 times really fast, please?
Aknak, 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 Aknak.
You sound like a 1950s gun going off.
With the death of this good omen, the sun, the food supply, and the people were buried within the earth, and the forces of chaos reigned. Well, that sounds bad.
Yeah, this is Thanos level.
Yeah. But out of the chaos rose a new order established by Hun Ajor, one of the hero twins known to all for having vanquished the lords of the underworld.
Wow.
Hey, we know about him. He was in the last episode.
Yeah, go and listen to that and give it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Why not, you dickheads?
A new race of humans was created, made from maize.
What the fuck? Maize men. Are we made out of corn? So, well, there's a whole corn of corn, people, mate, and it's fucking bad. And, so, the state of balance was not to last, however. Chak Ek's 5th and final victim was a mysterious stranger from the west. And his death in the heart of the dry season shook the order established by Hunajor. The gods, the lords, and the maize were buried in the underworld. The gods, the lords, the maize are my 3 favourite things. What? The gods, the lords, and the maize. Sounds like a hip-hop album. Anyway, but this victory for Chak Ek would also prove temporary. The two brothers, Venus and... Are you clapping?
Sorry, I'm turning myself off mute because it's fine now.
Okay. Did you enjoy my jokes?
I did enjoy your joke. Yeah, I wanted to chip in, but my boiler was going mental, so I couldn't.
Chip in now. I'll stick it in.
Okay, do it again.
The gods, the lords, and the maze. Sounds like a hip-hop album.
It really does. What an astute observation.
Just to clarify, Dan was on mute during that because his boiler was really loud, so... I feel like you're... I don't feel you're taking me very seriously, Dan.
No, I thought it was a good observation. I smiled to myself.
I appreciate... Yeah.
As you know from doing the podcast, Matt, every time you make a joke, instead of laughing audibly so our listeners can hear, I tend to just quietly smile to myself, which is not great for a podcast format.
Also, by the way, I have to say, I've been in the room with you when I've been doing those jokes, and you haven't smiled. You're a liar.
That is also true.
You're a lockdown liar. But this victory for Chak Ek would also prove temporary. The two brothers, Venus and the Sun, were caught in an endless cycle as they battled for supremacy, reenacting the same 5 struggles, while the world alternated between order and chaos, with the rising of the Morning Star! That's the end of the myth, and let's head over to the next part of the podcast. Hey there, my name's Matt Huss, and in this link I have an American accent, and I advocate the safe use of Myths podcasts. In small doses. In this podcast episode, we will be looking at the 4 different categories. As you always know, there are life skills, the practical things we learnt, myths and morals, the things from myths which we, the ethical things that we learnt, creativity, the how wondrous and original things we've seen, and the WTF factor, which is the things that made us go, what the fuck is that all about? I'm talking about Jaguars. So Dan, do you have any ideas for life skills at the moment?
How to murder people.
Yeah, okay, I think that's a good one. Murder 5 people. He just
How to murder 5 people. How to get vengeance on your brother. How to be jealous.
Yeah, because this is also immoral, but I think we should factor that in. But how easy is it to kind of you shouldn't be that jealous over not that much. You what you've done, you've just made it out first, and you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna kill all your friends for that. That's too much, isn't it? It's like, oh, you arrived home earlier than me, I guess I'll just burn down your family home. You know what I mean? It's just too much.
Yeah, it's all super passive as aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or just aggressive.
Yeah, he did murder all the friends, so yeah.
We learned about Venus and the 584-day cycle. I learned some stuff about that.
Yeah,
astrology.
We learned, astronomy?
Astronomy, sorry.
But yeah, we learned about star signs and stuff like that, I guess. We also learned how to build a spear thrower and how to dart.
We did.
We learned how to be reborn several times.
We learned how to be reborn. We learned how to
Eat maize.
create chaos.
Yes. We learn how to make humans and how to rise from the underworld. I think 7.
Yes, yeah, 7. Go for 7.
All right, morals now. So the kind of ethical things we learn. Also, we talked about the jealousy already, but what other moral things did we learn? Maybe it's okay to kill people if they get reborn, but then again, people are without things for 3 months. That's not ideal, is it?
Morals are that he is. Well, kind of one of the morals is like the fact that he's just petty about his brother, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
the main overarching moral?
Yeah, and I guess
Is that don't be petty and go for vengeance because it can affect other people. Like he massively affected the world just because of his petty grievances with his brother.
And also beyond that, though, like,
It wasn't even a grievance. He was just jealous. It's not like his brother did anything to him.
and also that they never really resolved it. They just kind of keep on going in the cycle, reenacting the same 5 struggles. So we don't actually get anywhere with it. They just kind of go around in a cycle, just doing their own thing, which could be a deep metaphor, but about how we just kind of go round and round without ever resolving things. And the only way to get out of an anxiety cycle or a vicious cycle is to break the habits and just face your fears. So maybe if Venus or Chak actually looked at himself to see what he was doing wrong, he wouldn't have to battle for supremacy all the time.
Well said.
What do you think? I'm thinking 5. Maybe 4.
I think a 4. I think 4.
All right. That is. Right. Next up is creativity. How creative is it? I like the genuine history in there, and how Mayans actually thought. I love that. It really it's something different. We don't have it tons on the podcast, and it really makes sense because usually it's like that's how scorpions are made, but it's kind of dumb. But actually, like this actually genuinely makes sense, and there's maths to it, which I appreciate. I also think, I just think the 5 different gods and how Venus is kind of like a modern day Thanos, or an ancient day Thanos, and I think that's pretty cool. Dan, any creativity to add?
No, I do think this was a creative one. It wasn't crazy creative because it kind of was just him going around murdering people. But I do like a bit of the. It was creative, and I like that it's tied into quite an interesting thing with the astronomy of like Venus and the sun. That's quite an interesting narrative. Maybe it's something that people can relate to with the whole brother, sibling rivalry, jealousy.
Alex Hoss.
Alex Hoss. I don't know. I'm thinking like a 5.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 5 or 6, but I think 5's fair because
I think it's down the middle,
Because I think the astrology saves it, but like otherwise it's just a person killing a person. You know what I mean? It's not that.
Yeah. WTF? He just goes around murdering people
For no real reason.
That's pretty messed up. There's 2 gods of sustenance. That seems dumb to me.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That seems like an admin. Like that's like a operational, logistical problem.
Bureaucracy fuckery. That's what it is. And and also I think it's spear throwers are pretty messed up. And murdering a turtle, that's pretty difficult. You know what I mean? Hard shell.
That is difficult.
It's difficult with a spear.
I mean, it's probably not. I could probably do it.
Yeah, I kind of think it's not that messed up, but not. It's a bit messed up, but not.
4. 5.
I'm thinking 3 actually.
3. Damn.
Well, don't know. Actually, it's not that messed up. Let's say 4. I think 4.
Let's say 4. Come on.
It's very rare that I go lower.
5 is average, so let's go 4. Yeah.
So let's add that up. So 7 for life skills, 4 for morality, 5 for creativity, 4 for WTF, meaning we have a total of 20. Right down the middle.
Boom. Right. Literally the middle. Literally, if you took a possible 40, which is the total it could be out of, and you went for half, that is what you would get. That's maths. Wow.
Wow, indeed. And well, Dan, have you enjoyed today's episode?
Can I just say how good our maths is getting? The last few episodes, you haven't had many maths problems, and I think that's been a real testament to our...
Okay, Dan, what is 584 times by 8? Or is it 5? 5.
Times by 5?
Yeah.
It is. Let's do this actually. 5 times 8 would be 40,000, and then 84 times by 8. Oh god, I've got to do that in my head now. Times by 5. Sorry. No, that can't be right because it's times by 5, isn't it? So actually, 5 times 5 is 20. 2,920.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Oh, bless. Right. Yeah. So, Dan, thanks for. It's been an absolute treat to chat to you again. We should start playing.
Wow, 2,920 divided by 365 is exactly 8. So it is actually exactly 8 years. That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Clever maths, people. But hey, if you want to get in touch with us, we'll be doing. I think we're trying to do this every 2 weeks. It's a bit weird at Myths at the moment. We're just trying to. I think Dan and I.
We're just vibing it.
Yeah, we'll try and do one every 2 weeks. But do hold us to it. Like get in touch with us. Say, hey, we want some more Myths content. Just email us at mythspodcast@gmail.com and get in touch with us. You can also contact us through social media, Myths Podcast on Facebook and. Twitter. We're not really on it that much, but if you message us, we'll respond. In fact, just say, hey, we're so lonely. Let me drink your dregs, your emotional dregs.
God, that was an interesting share you did with that whole drinking of the.
Have you heard of that
just
before?
such a Matt Hoss thing. I just can't stop fidgeting. You walking around a nightclub, drinking people's drinks.
Yeah.
God, people must have thought you were so weird.
Well, I was a bit
And
of a
then
loner.
you started drinking their drinks.
I was a loner, so no one really knew I was doing it. Really, it was very very subtle, I imagine. But yeah, hey, it's been an absolute treat to have you. And also, Dan, I'm not sure if we've ever celebrated this, but we hit over 10,000 downloads on Myths, which is really cool.
We did, yeah. Can I get a episode 4 trumpet, please, Matt, to celebrate?
Wow, let me polish it off. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Do you still have it in the case?
Yeah, absolutely. Was that Ride of the Valkyries? Oh no, it's gone racist. It's gone Nazi. Oh no. Well, that's why you should never leave stuff into the corner too long. It goes bad. But yeah, thank you all for being part of that. It's always a treat, and it's I do really appreciate it. And but yeah, Dan, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I just want to say that I've had a great time, Matthew, as always. And yeah, I would like to. I will read some of your book maybe, and maybe do a little bit of a. I'll let you know as episodes go on. I'll give you my little hints and tips. I'll give you honest feedback.
And what do you think you'll finish first, my book or the league table?
I will probably ask me that when I'm 89 years old, and we'll see which one hasn't yet been done.
Do you think that at that time we're still doing this podcast?
I hope so. Episode.
Well, by our current rating, episode 129. It's a long hiatus.
But no, thank you, Matt, as always. Yeah.
All right. I've been Matt Hoss, and that's Dan Rhodes, and this has been Myths Podcast, and we'll see you next time. We love you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Myths.
Welcome.
Myths. Myths. There we go. Stop. Myths. 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 Maya myth?
Maya myth, yeah. Mayan refers to the language. Maya refers to the civilization and the people itself.
Well, not to be rude, but I just had a look at the doc on which the myth is in, and it does say Mayan mythology. So
Yeah, the mythology of the language.
what? That doesn't. Shut up. Then that's obviously confusing. They can't have mythology of language, Dan. You stupid.
Because later on in the paragraph, you'll see it says the ancient Maya identified this. See?
But Lynn, you're normalising the use of Mayan mythology. Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the mythology was written in the Mayan language.
I'm staying silent. I mean, that not even as a joke. It sounds.
Can
like
I not have hot water? Can I have this basic of luxuries?
Dan, stop being funny. We can't keep. There we go. It's fine now. It was super crackly. Like it really.
That's a blooper.
Yeah, that was funny. Right, Tech Matt House back in the corner. Dan, what were you saying? Are we made out
So
of corn?
Hunter Jaw, one of the hero twins, is basically. Oh, my boiler's doing it again. Do you
Yeah,
want me?
yeah. Can you tell your flatmate to not shower ever, please?
I don't think it's a shower. I think it might be them. Like it happens just sometimes when they're like if they turn on the tap or something.
Or can they not have access to water, please, for our podcast?
That's true.
I'll sing you a little song then. In the meantime. There goes Dan Rhodes. He likes to lick toads, and I really love him. Dan Rhodes sucks on chodes, but I don't judge him. Roads of Dan, the attention of a span. He is the model man. Dan Rhodes, Dan Rhodes, Dan Rhodes, Dan Rhodes, Dan Rhodes. Dan fucking Rhodes, 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 Dan fucking Rhodes. He's very nice.
That's nice. I think what's happening is my housemate Brad I think he's doing the washing up from the night before.
Oh, no.
So I think this might. Why don't I just mute myself and you read the next bit out?
Okay, that sounds good. Did you like the song?
I did really like the song. Thank you so much.
Do you want to say anything more? Because that'll be in the bloopers as well.
No, I actually really liked it. Actually, I'd like that to be my alarm.
We can do that. We can organise that. Right.
Well, Matt's gone, so I can now give an actual review of his book. I have actually read it. I just didn't want to admit to him. Oh my god, guys, it's an absolute whirlwind. I mean, there's monsters and dragons. There's this woman called Daenerys Targaryen, really interesting character. I don't know how Matt came up with her, really, and like so convoluted. Like some of the stuff that happens, it's basically like medieval Britain, but it's kind of fantasy. He told me his book was about it's called Purify. He told me it was about like veganism and the world and climate change, but it's not. There's also a bit where James Bond has sex with his cousin at a wedding. It's weird.
Oh, I like that bit. That bit's pretty good. You talking about my book, right?
Hey, Matt. What's that?
You talking about my book, right?
I was giving more review of the book.
We can have a lot of bloopers this episode.